Hi everyone, this is Sebastian, and this is my first live streaming where I'm going to be sharing some of my journey towards financial independence. Today I'm going to talk about how financial independence changed my life. And so I will speak about how it helped me build security in my life and hence more confidence, how financial independence helped me buy time, how it helped me create freedom and opportunities. So these are the three main things that really happened to me since I came across financial independence as a concept and since I've reached financial independence, of course, as well. So the first thing is, as I discovered financial independence, I was already taking care of my finances a little bit, started tracking my expenses, tracking my income and forecasting where I was going, where I was heading, basically with those numbers. And the simple fact of tracking my money and knowing that I had a certain amount in the bank and that number was going up as time passed gave me a lot of security. So all of a sudden, this completely removed all the stress related to money in general. Not completely, but a big chunk of it, because I had control. I had control, and I had trust in my system, and so it was a massive stress relief when I got started, and then even bigger when I reached financial independence a couple of years ago. So stress is something that's changed a lot in my life since I reached financial independence, but also as I was progressing. So money-related stress and then work-related stress, because with the security of my personal finances, I had more space at work to be myself and not to be afraid of being fired, etc. And so that came a little later once I had, say, enough to survive for a year or two without having a job. And so, yeah, building security was a massive game changer in my own life because all the stress started going down. And today it's obviously one of the incredible benefits that I have is that I don't have those stresses about money and career. But what I think brought me even more benefits is that this turned into confidence. So knowing that I have a system that I can trust and knowing that I am going in the right direction generally from a personal finance perspective, just gave me confidence to be more myself around me with my friends and family, and with in all of my relationships, including at work. So I could be more authentic and more confident in the future. And so I think, that helps me be a better person to be around. So a better person for others. So this is the first thing. Building security creates, reduces stress and creates confidence. And I think this is an incredible benefit of pursuing financial independence and obviously reaching financial independence. The second big thing that changed in my life is that I bought time. And obviously that's the whole purpose, right? So we save and we invest in a way that at some point we can actually stop working and not depend on our paycheck anymore. And by saving and investing, we're basically purchasing time in the future. And at that point, that future can be today. So that happened for me a couple of years ago. So for quite some time, I was saving and investing and betting on a future where I would have more time. Something I didn't do so well was to create time in my life as I was progressing towards financial independence. And this could be because I was maybe close to FI when I realized that it was possible for me. And so I was more in a rush to get to it than in a place where I needed to create more time in my life today. But looking back, I probably should have created more time in my life and maybe delayed a bit FI, because we only live once and we only have the present. And so I think it's important to bring the benefits of financial independence into your life today, if you can. And so I bought time, and that gives me the option to spend time on what matters most for me. And for me, since I have stopped working, that's clearly been family. Well, we have a newborn son. He's a year and a half old now. But I basically spend most of my time with my wife, my son, my parents, and my siblings, and my in-laws. Of course, we do the same on the side of my wife. And we've really dedicated those past 3 years to that, being closer to them, and being more connected as a family, and sort of growing as a family and taking care of each other. And so that is probably the biggest blessing that we are grateful for, because like it's really unique, and we know that we are in a unique situation in the sense that very few people can afford to do this, and so we are thankful that this is the position we're in today, where we have a system we trust so much that it's okay for us not to work and not to think about money, and actually be there for each other in a very intentional way. And that's just yeah, we can only be thankful for that, because it doesn't matter how much we worked, it's still such an incredible and unique position to be in, and one that I wish everyone to be able to enjoy at some point. And even if you don't reach FI, I think this is worth taking time off for sure. And so think about ways you could bring that into your life as well, even if you're not already all the way to FI. And so the time I bought is so something that I'm obviously mostly dedicating to family, but it also helps me take time to think about the bigger picture, and exploring things in my life for greater purpose and impact. So that's an ongoing process. It's something that has driven me, and I will talk about this in future videos, but has driven me from the very beginning. So having a positive impact around me and on the world in general. And having this time to think about those questions and actually explore ways of putting those, well, answering this question and trying to find ways to create positive impact. That's been incredible, because it's, again, unique position to be in, to be able to do that. And while I was doing that, as I was working, I had the constraints of work and having to make money as a constraint, right? Which I don't have today. And so that creates many more opportunities, which is the third point that, or the third benefit that I wanted to highlight today. So something else that changed with financial independence is I created freedom and opportunities. I can choose what I spend my time on, but also what I spend my energy on. And I think that's even more important. As I said, with the time that I have had, I've taken the time to think through, various aspects of my life. And this is a process I started before I reached financial independence. As I knew I was going to get there a few years down the line, I started searching for ways to find meaning, ways to find purpose, ways to have a positive impact. And in the end, that sort of is my answer to purpose and meaning, is having a positive impact around me and making things better for myself, my close family, so my community, and beyond, humanity, if I can. So that's something that I have been passionate about in the past few years now. And obviously financial independence give me the option to spend time on that, and the opportunity to basically go and explore ways I can actually do that, right? So I can decide to go volunteer for a cause that's really important, and that either is very important to me, or that I discover is very important in terms of impact, right? And again, the freedom of being able to do that without having to be paid. So maybe able to serve causes that are underfunded and maybe neglected, but where my skills can actually make a difference. So that is a very unique opportunity, which doesn't exist without financial independence. I can also decide to take more risks, right? So maybe start a new career, go back to university and learn something in a completely new, different field, because there's a purpose for that, right? So I have discovered that what I have studied might not be, the most impactful. The career I picked might not be the most impactful I could have had. And so going back to university and learning new skills is something that's clearly on my mind, and is an option, because it could help me scale my impact and basically solve problems that my current skill set does not allow me to. And then I could from there go into a new career, start from zero, because in the end I'm not so driven by money anymore. So even if I have to start from the very bottom, it's fine. I have different criteria today, right? And as we were talking about being able to take more risks, that also means that I could consider starting a business, right? Which is also something that's on my mind. And I'm in a beautiful position to do that, because it doesn't matter if the business fails, as long as I don't take massive loans, and I protect my current assets and disconnect them from the business, then I'm in a good position to do that. And even if it takes time, it's fine. I have time. And so again, financial independence gives me that opportunity. And as a similarly with the other aspects that I mentioned earlier, this is something that can be done earlier in the journey. It doesn't have to be, you don't need to reach all the way to FI to be able to do these things. But as you progress and build financial security and financial freedom in your life, gradually you increase those other benefits as well, and you can start taking decisions based on different criteria. One last thing that's really important here, and that's related to creating freedom and opportunity, is that I don't have the usual excuse of most people, which is, wait, I've got to pay the bills, right? I have to go to work because I have to pay the bills. So I'm not in a position to think about changing big things in my life and making big decisions. No, I don't have that excuse anymore. And so in a way, financial independence forces people, it forced me to ask very tough questions, right? What am I going to do with my time? How am I going to be useful to society? Where will I find purpose and meaning? What drives me? What do I really want to do in life? If it wasn't for money and work and, you know, society's expectations, what is really speaking to me? What is really meaningful to me? What do I really want to do, irrespective of those constraints? And all of a sudden, you have no choice but to try to answer those questions. And this is at the same time a blessing and a curse. It's a bit of a curse because it can be stressful not to have guidance and not to just have to follow the path that society tells you you're supposed to follow. And it's a blessing because it means you have to take control of your life and you have to be much more intentional, and really be responsible for your life. You all of a sudden you're not. There is no trap from society. You freed yourself from society and from the constraints, the usual constraints. Not everything, obviously. There's a lot of things that are still there, but I would say the constraints that take most of your time and attention and energy, these are not there anymore. So you have no choice but to face yourself in the mirror and do what's right. Do what's right. And it's tough. Like I've gone through this, and I can tell you it's not easy, despite, you know, my passion and determination. It is difficult. So but it's difficult, but it's important. And so even if I'm not the best at this, it's been super beneficial because I have more clarity in my life and better control. And I know that I'm moving forward and that my goal is to have a positive impact. And so I can do that, right? And me sharing my journey is part of that idea. One of the ideas that I'm exploring. So, well, that's longer than I expected to do for a first live. But I hope this is useful. So what I just talked about were the three big things that changed in my life because I discovered financial independence, because I reached financial independence. So the first thing is build security, which gave me which reduced stress in my life and helped me gain confidence and basically made my whole life better and the life of people around me better as well. The second thing is I built security. Sorry, that was the first one. The second thing is I bought time back, right? So time to spend on things that matter. So for me, that's family, and then some sort of purpose, meaning type research and activity. And the last thing is I created freedom and opportunities to basically spend my energy on those things that matters most. And so sort of progress in that direction. Right. I hope that was useful. This is just my thoughts for today. I'm planning on sharing thoughts like this on a regular basis, daily for a while, for sure. But I would be very curious to hear what you are hoping to achieve with financial independence. And I want you to remember that whatever you're hoping to achieve, basically you can build some of that in your life today. right? And you don't need to get all the way to financial independence to benefit from the power of financial independence. As you progress and as you build financial security and as you build a system that you trust, and as you see that this is going in the right direction, you can start bringing those benefits from financial independence in your life today, right? So I would love to hear from you in the comments, what you're aiming for and how you're bringing that to your life today, because I believe that's essential. That's essential, and it's super powerful. And I really hope you can benefit from it as well. So that's all from today. We'll speak again tomorrow. Take care. Cheers.